Hello, mountain biking ladies. I hope y'all are having a fantastic Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about the ready position, or kind of the downhill riding or aggressive or attack position. For those of you that don't know, I'm Liz. I am owner of the Ride Life team, and I also am a mountain bike skills instructor, as well as being a doctor of physical therapy. So today we're going to kind of meld those two things together, and we're going to be talking about how it can be hard to get into this ready or attack position for multiple different reasons, more so on the strength side of life and the body control side of life within that, because it's a hard position. As I talk to many people that come in to see me, either via fitness wise or via PT wise, understanding the hip hinge and how that plays a role into your riding and how actually you do it off the bike is extremely hard for many people. And so we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that, and also add in a couple more areas where you can have some stress or strain being and trying to be in this ready position as you're going downhill, and how kind of like what things you can do to think about it, and where are some areas that you might need to add a little bit more love for you to improve this. Because I don't know about you, but I'd much rather go downhill and feel confident, comfortable, and crush it versus riding uphill and climbing. I like climbing, but it's not my first love when it comes to mountain biking. I'd much rather go crush some downhills. And so sometimes we can get into these ready or attack positions, and we might not be thinking about the right aspects of it. One, because we are riding downhill, and we can get a little nervous, we can get a little scared, and or that we just go into some compensations because that's what our body knows to do. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Who has issues with being in this kind of ready or attack position? Who has issues with being there? And also, if you're here live, I'd love to know that you popped on, and if you caught the replay, I'd love to know that you stopped by as well. So anybody have issues with this? I know several of y'all did whenever we talked about it in the other post, about that it was fatiguing to either your neck, your back, also to some of your shoulders and your wrists and hands. A lot of these can be hard for that. Little quick story, there's a girl that came in to see me that I've been helping with, and she has a lot of wrist and hand issues. Well, we did some work with her upper back, with her neck, and like getting her stronger in her arms. But the main focus, I'm just going to kind of like blow the bubble out of this one. The main focus was actually understanding how to load through her hips and her core. And understanding that helped her distinctly with her hand numbness, with her hand pain that she was having. She has been able to go out and ride and not have hardly any hand numbness or hand pain. And she was having extremely, and this is a girl that she does a lot of bike packing. She does a lot of this like on the bike technical stuff. And she didn't quite understand this position as well. And she's been riding for years. And so this isn't necessarily a new to biking issue. It's a I need to strengthen my body issue. Also, many of y'all notice that if you don't know already, I'm obviously pregnant. And so I'm 31 weeks pregnant, but just bear with me as I do some of the demoing on the bike, that there's a belly sticking out and it may not look exactly right. Try to look more at how my back is moving through some of it. All right, so what exactly is the ready position? For those that may not know, it is the position that you're on the bike and you're riding downhill, or just wanting to get up and out of the saddle because you're riding over some more rocks. What it is that you're slightly bent in your elbows are out a little bit. You're able to look forward. Your knees are slightly bent, but we're not full into bottom of the movement here. We're up and out of it just a little bit. We're pseudo relaxed here, but we're ready for what can come up next. And we're able to attack the trail, which is hence why the names of either ready or attack position, is because we're able to get into this position here. Now, as I'm in this position, I say that it's comfortable. It should be. You should be able to stay here for a pretty long period of time. It should be cozy for you. However, for many, it's not. For many, we have issues with neck stress. We have issues with back stress. Our knees hurt with it. Or our shoulders and our wrists and our hands kind of feel overly worked and fatigued through all of these things. And so what I want to do is break down some areas that we can change some of these aspects. Because we ride because it's fun. We need that mental release. We need to get out there and have good time on the bike. Being in the woods, all of these things are a blast. Also, we need to be safe with it. And so being able to do this kind of ready or attack position allows us to be more safe on the bike. It allows us to have more confidence on the bike, to enjoy our time out there and not crash. Because I want you guys to be safe, to not have injuries, you know? And so one of the things, the areas of focus here, I'm going to start with one of the main ones, is our points of contact with the bike, okay? We have our feet on the bike, they're here, and we have our hands on the bike, they're here. And so we can either weight more into our feet or we can weight more into our hands. If I need to weight more into my hands, then that's going to obviously put more pressure on my hands, on my shoulders, and up into my neck potentially. If I put more weight on my feet, I'm going to offload my hands. This is more what we want to be. We want to be more heavy on our feet as we're riding in this position. This can make us sometimes want to do this with our body, and we start squatting into it. Now I'm putting more stress into my quads. I can potentially put more stress in my back if I'm thinking about raising my chest up. And that can lead to low back stress. That can lead to knee stress because I don't need to be loaded into my quads that much through it. As we're in this ready or attack position, we can go in and out of it using our arms and our legs as suspension. But if I'm already into my suspension, I don't have anywhere to go. It's like having a front fork that has 140 millimeters of travel, and I'm already sitting at 70 millimeters of travel all the way in. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? That means I'm only going to be able to use 70 millimeters left. I've already used half of it. That's why we have and measure our sag on some of our suspension, on our fork and on our shock. It's so we can use more of this, more of our suspension for riding our bike. Same thing as we're in this ready position, it's so we can use more of our suspension, aka our arms and our legs, as we're going down the trail, which makes us more confident and comfortable. And so if I'm in more of a squat position through here, I've already used up some here. I don't have anywhere to go. There's not much left. And so being more in this position, in that hip hinge, aka, let me get off the bike to show this, where I'm hinging at my hips more so than at my knees. Is this new information to anybody? Or is this a good reminder for anybody? It's kind of triggering in some different aspects of it. And so as we talk about our hip hinge, what are some main things that we need for it? What do we need to actually hip hinge? It's part of a deadlift. Part of it. It's so important for us as riders. You know? Like, we need to be able to move at the axis of our hips for it. We need to have that understanding. This comes into a little bit of what we need for it. We need body control. We need to understand where we're actually moving. You know? If I'm not looking at my arm, am I moving at my elbow? Or am I moving at my wrist? Am I moving through both of them? Do you understand that movement? You know? Can you put those two together? Because a lot of times, whenever we're going over the hip hinge, we tend to do hip hinge like this. Yeah, I'm technically moving at my hips, but I'm also technically moving at my back. Or we do a hip hinge like this, where we stick our butt out and we're gonna do like a stripper booty type style. You know, we need that nice middle ground here. Do you understand what that feels like for it? So as we're doing this hip hinge, understanding what's happening actually at our low back to pelvis is super important for that. That takes what I call core control. It takes body control to understand what you're doing, core control to help support that movement as you're doing it, and then we look at our upper back. As we're looking at our upper back, I crawl back on here, I want to make sure that I'm not falling in as I'm looking at my upper back through here, or I'm not overarching it. I want to make sure it's nice, straight, and in line. I'm able to use my other lat muscles through here, my upper back muscles, to support not only my shoulders, my shoulder blades, my hands and wrists, but also my neck. If I'm folded in, now I have to stress my neck to get there, to look forward. Otherwise, I end up stressing my back to get there. I need to understand how to move at my pelvis to keep it a hip hinge movement through here. Otherwise, I'm going to fold in through here. My arms are going to come down. I'm going to end up more in the squatted position through here, or even stressing my neck and my low back in this position here. Or as we're going, you end up overarching, and with each drop, hit, other thing that you do on the bike, your back takes the hit. And so how do we start to fix this? One, understanding what our body is actually doing. I talk a ton about strength. I talk a ton about building up that core. Well, part of building up your core, part of building up your strength is this stuff. It's not just about your endurance on the bike. It's not just about how fast you can climb. It's about how your body is working together. This is something I'm super passionate about because it's not talked about a lot. It's not out there a ton. There's how to get your endurance better. There's get stronger for biking, which is true. Yeah, all these things will get you stronger for biking. But let's support your body as you're doing it. It's why I have my Ride Life team. It's why I have a monthly membership that focuses in on workouts that support these base patterns. So you know how to do it off the bike and then can do it on the bike better. And so you gain that strength and endurance of your muscles to make it happen. Focus in on understanding your hip hinge. Focus in on that cylinder of a trunk for support. Using your shoulder blades to seat your shoulders and support your arms as you're in more of that ready position. It should be confident and comfortable for you to be in this type of arm position on the bike. All of those things play a role together. So whenever you're on the bike and you want to get into that ready position for your downhills, you're not going to stress your neck. You're going to feel strong. You're not going to stress your lower back. You're going to feel strong in that too. You're going to have the confidence of going down the hill. You're not going to have to stop midway because you're like, oh, I feel like my back is just getting overly tired. I just can't control it. I need my back to get stronger. No, you need to support your back. You need to support your body as it's moving through these different areas. That's why it's important to focus on upper back strength. That's why it's important to focus on your core strength here, your glute strength, all of these different aspects, and understand what your body is actually doing. Learn from it. Because there's so many times as we all as athletes, we just get the task done. Oh yeah, I can roll over that. I can go off that drop. I can go over those roots, go over those rocks. But what's actually happening to your body? Are you down in this position as you're going over every single thing where you don't have anywhere to actually go? Are you able to flow in and out? Are you squatted more? Are you stressing your low back? Stressing your neck? All of these things play a role into how strong you are through here with your different body movements and body control. And so focusing in on workouts that give you that is key for helping you with doing the ready position better. You can do all these things on your own and support your body. It's just a change of mindset for what you're doing and why. I hope this was super helpful for you, and let me know if you have any other questions.